One thing I've noticed, Premier, while I've been here, is that Northerners seem to have, I might almost call it, obsession about the Igbos. Could you perhaps explain that to me?
Well, the Igbos are more or less the type of people whose desire is mainly to dominate everybody. If they go to a village, to a town, they want to monopolize everything in that area. If you put them in a labor camp as a laborer, within a year they will try to emerge as headman of that camp, and so on. Well, in the past, our people were not alive to their responsibilities, because you can see from our northernization policy that in 1952, when I came here, there weren't 10 northerners in our civil service here. Then I tried to have it northernized, and now all important posts are being held by northerners.
Is this policy of filling all key posts in the north solely with northerners and not with other Nigerians a temporary or a permanent one?
In actual fact, what it is a northerner first. If you can't get a northerner, then we take an expatriate like yourself on contract. If we can't, then we can employ another Nigerian, but on contract too. This is going to be permanent, I should say, as far as I can foresee, because it will be rather dangerous to see the number of boys who are now turning from all our learning institutions coming out with having no work to do. I'm sure whichever government of the day might be, it will feel rather embarrassed, and it might even lead to bloodshed.
Doesn't this damage the idea, sir, of all people in all regions in Nigeria being fellow citizens of one country?
Well, it might, but you are, new to our region, but how many northerners are employed in the east or in the west? The answer is no. And if there are, there may be 10 laborers employed only in the two regions.
Do you believe the Igbos are marginalized, and by who?
It's not even a question. Everybody knows the Igbos have been marginalized. Successions of Nigerian governments have marginalized the Igbos. But we need to understand where this is coming from. When I say this, I will sound ethnical, but it is a fact. The Igbos are hated by majority of the rest of Nigerians. Okay, and I always say it is due to the fact of Igbos being very ambitious and sometimes overly ambitious, and so an Igbo man almost always prospers in everything he does, and so brings him jealousy from his counterparts. And so what usually happens is that they try to beat us down, right? And so that has also gone into government. The same reason we went to war is the same reason today the Igbos are being marginalized. The hate of the Igbo man. He's daring, he's got guts, and other people hate his guts, right? So in government, yes, we have been marginalized, but I'm not even going to make a case for appointments, because when you appoint an Igbo man, for example, you make him Minister of Health. You've appointed a Minister of Health for the whole of Nigeria, not just for the Igbos. He benefits from it because he earns a fat salary. So if you don't give us appointments, but you give people who will do the job appointments, I don't care. It doesn't bother me. But then when you're talking about economics, when you're talking about infrastructure, when you're talking about development, when you're talking about roads, you're talking about airports, you're talking about, access to seaports, the things that are supposed to benefit a region economically, and you're not giving that to us, it is a clear case of marginalization. So we've seen that in different governments. Yes, whether you gave contracts to Igbo people and the money, it's a different thing. That's not marginalization to me. That's corruption. And so you who gave the contracts should arrest the people who you've given contracts and they haven't done them, and prosecute them for being criminals. But marginalization is when you have given, for example, recently they declared about 3 airports in 3 different regions of Nigeria, special economic zones, and none was given to the southeast. That is a clear case of marginalization. Okay, you're talking about, seaports. You're talking about railroads. They did a magnificent, beautiful project that goes from Lagos to Ibadan. Beautiful, beautiful project, and I give them kudos for that. But now, the question is, Lagos to Ibadan and Lagos to the southeast, which is more beneficial to Nigeria's GDP? We all know the answer. So why choose Ibadan over the southeast? And since you decided to do it for Ibadan, why don't you do one for the southeast as well, where trade is the mainstay, and that trade is what holds up our economy? And now you've given out another contract from the north to Niger, and you sidetracked southeast that contributes majorly to the GDP of Nigeria. That's unfair. It's clear that they don't like us. It's clear that they know that if you give us a chance, we will prosper. And so they're trying to hold us down. At the government level, that's what they do, right? Now, your question is, who is marginalizing us? So I won't even go into our own brothers and sisters who aren't doing the things they're supposed to do. So let me stop there, and that's my answer to your question.